April 20th, 1999. Two teenagers made a choice. 13 victims, hundreds affected. On that fateful day, multiple lives were lost. Yet in the eyes of Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, this amount was seen as a failure. Dave Cullen, the author of Columbine, explains some of the reasons behind their actions. Much of his 2009 book shows a wide range of contextualization and perspective. Amazingly, he accurately grasps feelings, movements, and the moments through exemplification, foreshadowing, as well as the presentation of the truth. Through these choices, he gained a sense of understanding with the reader. He wrote a story that needed to be heard. He appeals to emotions to educate, to raise awareness, to provide the truth, the whole perspective, in order for the audience to feel his sincerity through the chapters. This is his purpose, his message, stated clearly throughout, that he wants to educate the public on what needs to be heard. Columbine has many stories of victims as they went through the fateful, or rather devastating, day. He narrated Dylan and Eric's spiral into homicidal thoughts, and finally their heinous acts. He walked the readers through each and every victim, death, and decision. Danny, Rachel Scott, and Dave Sanders are some of the examples of victims who never returned home to their loved ones. Yet not all is lost, as the stories live on in Columbine and the hearts of those affected. Dave Cullen's words contain foreshadowing as they unravel on the page. The reader is well aware of what this book is about, yet for some reason don't understand what the book truly entails until it's hinted at by the author's words. One line tells about Dylan saying goodbye to his mom, April 20th, 1999. Here, it is painfully obvious that goodbye meant much more than a simple word as Dylan exited. Likewise, Cullen's chapter titles such as Maximum Human Density and One Bleeding to Death makes the reader feel sick to their stomach as they realize what they're about to read. It is clear from Cullen's writing that his first and foremost priority is presenting the truth. He extends the truth in an informative voice. He is letting the reader formulate an opinion on the given facts. Consequently, his book is riddled with myth-busting throughout its pages. He is dismissive of the media and doesn't conceal the lies of policemen on the case. He rejects false information. This is part of the reason why he wrote the book. Through his appeal to logic and emotion, he wants to educate the world on this tragic day. He wants to educate worried parents, students, and teachers using the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. January 1997. The missions began. A series of late-night escapades terrorized the homes of people Eric didn't like. Summer 1997, the first pipe bomb was made. August 1997, Eric's website was reported. November 3rd, 1997, the first idea of a massacre appeared in Dylan's journal. January 30th, 1998, Eric and Dylan were arrested for breaking into a van. February 15th, 1998, deputies found a pipe bomb near Eric's house. Spring 1998, Eric's dad caught him with a pipe bomb. In the time leading up to the shooting, Eric and Dylan had their multiple run-ins with the police. Both had been caught by the parents, friends, and neighbors on more so than one occasion. So what makes this case unpreventable? Tragedy oftentimes seems unpreventable, whether it's in classic literature like Romeo and Juliet, or in the modern reality with Columbine. Many schools have taken action to prevent another Columbine, yet there have been 380 school shootings since. Each day, 12 kids die from gun violence. Another 32 are shot and injured. Since 1999, more than 338,000 students have experienced gun violence at school. The warning signs were there. Just a year before the attack, Joe Stallmoser and Howard Cornell, who were in charge of security for the school district, which included Columbine, were worried that Columbine was the kind of spot that might attract school shooters. After Paducah and Jonesboro, they were worried that one of their schools was next. In August of '98, 8 months before the attack, they crafted a security plan in case the shooting they feared turned into reality. Cornell and Stallmoser had been wary of Eric Harris, yet they couldn't prevent the shooting. No one could. They say the school failed to follow the plan. but whether it would make much of a difference lies unanswered. Hindsight proves to be a useful tool, yet it won't prevent tragedy. Cullen classifies Eric as a psychopath. Many who study this case agree on this fact. His lack of empathy and conscience are telltale signs. Cullen continues in his informative tone as he unfolds Eric's thoughts. You can think and believe. You can judge people and their nature all you want, but you're still wrong. Why should your morals apply to everyone else? Moral is just another word, and that's it. I think we're all wasting natural resources. It should be killed off. I think humans have the ability to choose, and I'm human. I think I'll choose to kill and damage as much as nature allows me to, so take that. Fuck you, and eat napalm and lead. Ha! Only nature can stop me. I know I could get shot by a cop after only killing a single person, but hey, guess the fuck what? I chose to kill that one person, so get over it. It's my fault. Not my parents, not my brothers, not my friends, not my favorite bands, not computer games, not the media. It is mine. Go shut the fuck up. Here, Eric places the sole blame on himself, not his family or friends. He appears to be looking out for those close to him, but Dr. Fuselier, Cullen, and professional psychologists think otherwise. They see through his fake acts of sympathy. Eric has no such emotion, nevertheless he is a master of manipulation. He could have done much more damage had he made sure his plan was failure-proof. But a sheer pride that everything would fall into place took away that possibility. Still, he took 13 lives, ones that would never be restored. Murderers tend to be psychopaths, nevertheless. That doesn't mean all psychopaths are murderers. What is the difference between Eric Harris and any other psychopath? Kevin Dutton argues that being a surgeon, lawyer, or businessman made perfect jobs for a psychopath, stating, "Do you want a surgeon who is so sensitive and empathetic that he can't cut you open to save your life?" He continues further explaining that kind of ability to dispassionately disengage in surgery, the narcissistic self-confidence in law, the ruthless streak to fire someone in business. They're all psychopathic personality characteristics. One source, psychopathyis.org, argues that there is a cure for psychopathy through a multitude of therapies and medication. Yale argues that there is no such cure, and no amount of medication can prevent a murder in cold blood, and no amount of therapy can change an uncared mind. Eric had been taking medication and going to therapy. Before writing his journal entry labeled "Point of No Return," he entertained the idea of becoming a Marine once more. He claimed he would have done things for good. An ephemeral idea, one discarded almost as soon as it was thought. Dylan was different from Eric. Dylan wasn't a psychopath. One can tell from his ability to show emotions, anger, love, obsession. He was suicidal for years before committing the act, one of the leading reasons of his choice to commit the deed. He wanted an out, and Eric provided him one. His mother, Sue Klebel, mentions, "I think the 3 magic words I wish I had said were, 'Tell me more.' That's what we as parents need to do." She goes on to say that paying attention to warning signs, listening to your child, and getting the proper help could save lives. Again, the warning signs were there: aggression, increased drug and alcohol use, rage, giving away personal belongings, talking about being a burden. It begs the question, what if? Once more. It seems awareness of mental health, or lack thereof, makes America's children bleed. One could endlessly think that this case could have been prevented, that if only the police or their parents, friends, or even a society had done something, anything, maybe this tragedy could have been prevented. No matter how many times it's thought, it never changes the outcome. The yearning to change what has already happened is felt deep into the hearts of those who hear this case. Let this day serve as a reminder that without action, our children will continue to suffer.